Warning: viewer discretion is advised. Hi friends, welcome to Meals To Unalive For, where we talk about something spooky and I make you something delicious. I'm your host Jody Breton, and if you like this episode, please like and subscribe. On July 4th, 1982, while fireworks cracked across the Oklahoma sky, a 21-year-old woman named Cindy Baillie got into a car outside a motel in Tahlequah. She believed she was going to talk through an accusation. She did not know she was being driven towards her death. By nightfall, she had been stabbed in the throat and shot 9 times inside a rural home in Gaines, Oklahoma. Nearly 19 years later, the woman responsible, Lois Nadean Smith, would lie strapped to a gurney inside the Oklahoma State Penitentiary. And outside those prison walls stood Cindy's daughter, who had grown up without her mother. This is the full story. Lois Nadean Smith was born April 11, 1940. Public records about her early life are sparse. She was a mother living in eastern Oklahoma. There's no documented history of violent crime prior to 1982. Her son, Greg Smith, had been in a relationship with Cindy Baillie. Cindy was 21 years old. She also had a young daughter. That daughter would later watch the state execute the woman who killed her mother. On the morning of July 4th, Lois Smith, her son Greg, and a woman named Teresa Baker, later known in court records as Teresa Baker DeMoss, drove to Tahlequah Motel where Cindy was staying. Lois believed Cindy had threatened to have Greg killed. There was no verified evidence that such a threat had been made. Cindy denied it when confronted. Inside the car, the confrontation escalated quickly. Court records confirm that Lois began choking Cindy during the argument. She then reached into Cindy's purse, removed a knife, and stabbed her in the throat. Cindy was seriously wounded but still alive. Instead of calling for help, they drove to a rural house in Gaines, the home of Lois's ex-husband. Inside the house, events moved from assault to execution. Cindy was forced into a recliner. She was bleeding from the throat wound and unable to defend herself. Lois retrieved a .22 caliber pistol. She taunted Cindy, then she began firing. The autopsy later confirmed that 9 gunshot wounds to the chest, head, and back. The stab wound to her throat was also potentially fatal. Testimony established that Greg Smith reloaded the pistol while his mother continued shooting. Evidence presented at trial indicated that Lois jumped on Cindy's neck while firing additional shots. This was sustained, deliberate violence. Cindy Baillie died in that house on Independence Day. She was only 21 years old. Teresa Baker DeMoss was present for the entire sequence of events. At trial, she testified that Lois initiated the attack in the car, used the knife from Cindy's purse, forced Cindy into the chair, and fired repeatedly. She confirmed that Greg reloaded the weapon during the shooting. Her testimony was critical in establishing intent and sequence. Without it, the case would have been significantly more difficult to prove. Lois Nadean Smith was convicted of first-degree murder in Sequoyah County. The jury found aggravating factors, including that the murder was especially heinous and cruel. She was sentenced to death. Greg Smith received a life sentence for his participation. Appeals followed for nearly 19 years. Arguments were made regarding intoxication, ineffective counsel, and mental state. The Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals rejected those appeals. The sentence stood. Lois spent almost 2 decades at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAlester. Executions of women are rare in the modern era. By 2001, only a small number of women nationwide had been executed since capital punishment resumed in 1976. Her execution date was set for December 4th, 2001. On that day, Lois Nadean Smith ate her final meal: barbecue ribs, onion rings, strawberry banana cake, and a cherry limeade. That evening, she was strapped to a gurney in Oklahoma's execution chamber. Her final statement was directed towards Cindy Baillie's family. She said, "I want to apologize to the family of Cindy Baillie. I'm sorry for what I've done. I ask for your forgiveness." She also thanked her attorneys and expressed her faith. The lethal injection drugs were administered. She was pronounced dead at 9:13 p.m. Central Standard Time. She was 61 years old. Outside the prison that night stood Cindy Baillie's daughter. She had lived nearly 19 years without her mother. After the execution, she spoke publicly. She said, "This doesn't bring my mom back." She acknowledged that the execution provided a form of closure, but it did not undo the years of absence. In another statement, she reflected on the apology given inside the chamber. An apology doesn't change 19 years. Her words carried the weight of a childhood shaped by loss. Justice had been carried out, but the damage remained permanent. On July 4th, 1982, an accusation became an assault became an execution, and a young woman with a daughter never came home. Nearly 2 decades later, the state of Oklahoma carried out its own execution. But as Cindy's daughter made clear, no sentence, not even death, restores what was taken. Cindy Baillie was 21. Her life ended in a recliner in Gaines, Oklahoma, and the consequences of that day are still felt long after 9:13 p.m. on December 4th, 2001. For this meal, I went ahead and made Lois Nadean Smith's last meal, which were ribs, a strawberry banana cake, onion rings, and a cherry limeade. Everything was delicious. Let me know down in the comments if you prefer when I make a last meal specifically or if it matters to you. I personally don't mind either way. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.